Hey everyone, this is Timid Falconite back with some more Road to 1.1k. Today's match is going to be this Tier 1 Fog match versus ZGen X. It looks like he was at about 1.1k before this match, so this is going to be a relatively, well, I don't know, how competitive it is, but we'll see. First thing of note is it's Hawk versus Hawk, which is pretty standard in Tier 1, especially on larger maps like this. Also of note is this is one of those A-rank maps that is no longer in League, so it's out of rotation for right now, and there are probably a handful of reasons for that, but I don't know, it's fine. We both chose the same CO, because it's a big map. Hawk's always good with his addition, subtraction, and extra firepower day to day, but other COs which are pretty good are Sasha's like acceptable, Vandal's really good as well because of his extra 10% defense, and there's a lot of terrain for Vandal to take advantage of in the center here. But also his extra defense is just really good day to day overall. COs that are not that good in this map are Sturm. He's only been used 7 times actually. But yeah, definitely not a Sturm map. And the reason for that is because you got these transports and the water. So it's sort of like almost a air-heavy map. It would be more of an area-heavy map if there were more than one airport for each side, but like, area units are definitely important. Oh no, there are two airports actually. Scratch that. So, that's another reason why people like Von Bolt are pretty good. Well, it's the 10% extra defense on Von Bolt's copiers is nice, but it's like not something that you aren't going to be able to chew through, especially if you have like Hawk's extra firepower. But Sturm's battlecopters are kind of crap because their damage reduction isn't nearly made up for with their extra defense. And because this is more of an air-heavy map, definitely this is not a Sturm map at all. It's not really a Javier map at all either. He's got 51% win rate. But it's only like 2 comm towers. If there was an extra pair of comm towers, it'd probably be worth it. But the comm towers aren't. They're like sort of in play, but they're also like sort of not in play. Like they're relatively close by to your other tier things. Like Javier could, once he gets this base, he could just land forces here to take the comm tower, and it could be a bit difficult for his opponent to deal with it. Of course, you can always just get like an artillery in this area pretty easily, because it can move straight from this base into the lander here and then drop off into this corner, and then you basically have your comm tower secured. Especially in fog, because it's going to be difficult for your opponent to be able to see into this area. So Javier isn't like the best choice on this map, and Grid is obviously going to be crap because it is fog. And he's basically just, and it isn't nearly small enough for him to, like, Grid can be okay on really small maps, but this is not. This is way too big for him. Yeah, I will just say I like Hawk mostly, which is why I picked him. Von Bolt and Sasha are also very good picks as well. Sasha a little bit less, but like because of her meter control, she can hold out pretty easily and do a lot of damage here. And because the map is, I think it's 24k total per side at an even split. That's an extra 2,400 per turn that Sasha gets when she's when you're tied with your opponent, so that's more than enough to like push the edge over, especially with the fact that you have 2 airports, so you need that extra funds in order to be able to build basically take it full advantage of your production. So Sasha can be very useful on this map for that routine. But yeah, I think that's it for the preamble though. So let's get started with the actual match now. Hold on, I'm gonna resize this. Sorry, I did this on the fly. Okay, that's basically, that's probably perfect. So now you can see all the meters and stuff. So you can see they're immediately moving my lander into this shoal because, like, otherwise you're not gonna be able to do anything with this. He's moving ahead a little bit here with his lander. I'm not sure why he's bothering. Maybe to scout a little, but like it's not gonna matter. So he moves in with the infantry. Going for the basic burst here is important. As you can see here, that infantry went straight to here and then to here. So basically straight for the base on both sides. Heading towards the airport over here as well pretty early on. Because the sooner you can get air units out on this map, the better off you'll end up being. Getting the harbor pretty early as well. Not really for production value, because like you're not really going to be fighting in this strait all that much with like actual naval units. You don't even remotely have the money for that. But it's still nice to have it just in case you want to do some Hail Mary strat or something. So that could always be fun. As you can see here, my opponent is slightly ahead in the capture game, but I'm getting 2 infantry out here to start out with. And be able to take that and that. And getting into the center area here early with your landers is very important, I feel. Going for the mech here as well, actually. You'll see why. I forget exactly why though. Well, I think the reason I built the mech here actually was to just send it down these mountains and then just secure the comm tower from any of his, and basically just it's a cheap way to do that with not really needing to worry about any vehicles in this area. He's definitely going to send some vehicles in this area, and I don't really want to invest the tank yet. So I have 2 infantry in my second lander now. Sending them into the center here, and I'm just capping everything as much as I can. Get as much caps out as you can, basically. As you can see here, my opponent is ahead a little bit in the capture game already, but that's mainly with his extra infantry to start out with, and he isn't really moving into the center at all quite yet. And there's a lot of properties in the center that need to be secured. It's very important that you go for those as soon as you can, basically. He's also going for the mech in the mountains, but well, we'll see what I do if I try to make a push there or not. And he moves 1 infantry into this area. So I've got a bit of a mechs train going here. Really, you only need like 2 mechs to chain off of each other, and then I load the tank in here as well. So now I've got a tank ready out here. My opponent just went straight out with his tank rather than loading into the lander, which the tanks have enough move that they can do that without needing to like worry about. It's basically a little bit more efficient to load 2 infantry in there because they have less move and they can't really walk as quickly on their own. But it's definitely nice to have like a tank or a recon just to sit out there. And I was expecting like another tank from my opponent around in this area. He's going for his second airport now, and got a bit of a lander error there. Just gonna reload. Be a little bit more careful this time. And I clicked too fast again. So he's doing the same play here of his second tank. So he's going to be able to move in with that. He's got an artillery out as well, so that he can defend this area, most likely. So now it's my turn to reload here. Come on. Alright. So I go to secure the comm tower here. I move in with my other mech as well. Get the recon in the lander just so that I can see it in this center area here. And then move in with my other units as well. So I'm being a little conservative here with my movement, with my tanks, making sure we're not like in any danger, keeping them hidden, and I'm going for a battlecopter in this area as well. Because I'm sort of expecting a bit of a wave of tanks and stuff in this area, so. As you can see here, he's actually pretty significantly ahead in the capture game right now. And for whatever reason, these units are just breaking the lander. Okay, there we go. And then he goes for the recon into the mech here, and you can see my other mech here as well. So he's going, well, a bit of mech spam going on. I'm not sure if he saw my battlecopter or not, but he's building an anti-air sort of in response. Sort of gonna arrive a little bit too late to be able to back up his units here, though. And it's turn 9. So it's maybe a little bit late for the anti-air to come out. Still fine. As you can see here, I'm taking a bit of control of the center area here. And he's really got nothing in the area to deal with it. This recon that I put into the center here is going to end up being a very nice investment here. I got a mech here as well, getting this upper center property, moving in with the recon, and now I see that he's got his second airport as well. So I'm going to have to build something in response to that eventually, or at least just bring my battlecopters around. I also have the artillery here to pop off in this area. So that's a good spot, and that's another reason why Javier is okay in this map, because he does get the extra indirect defense, so he can play around these comm towers in an interesting way, in sort of interesting ways. Now he's popped his anti-air into the boat, actually, so that's going to be fun and interesting. And he's moving it into this area, so now I can't really move in with my battlecopters efficiently without leaving them open to his anti-air. Of course, I'm going for the caps here. And I take the income lead here as well. So I'm pretty significantly ahead in income now. And at this point, all I need to do is just make sure that his units aren't allowed to take much more ground than they already have. So I go in for like that, get the artillery out, pop in the second battlecopter. So now he moves in with the anti-air and he takes out one of my battlecopters. It's going to be in range of both this artillery and this mech. So this mech can just move in onto either of those tiles if it wants to. Keep in mind that he has the extra 10% and I don't yet. So that's going to end up being a little bit important here. And now I have 2 anti-air. So I've got this guy heading down this way to basically deal with this one. And then I've got this guy heading into the lander to move in against this guy, basically. So that's I'm sort of being a little bit defensive with my units in this center here, because I know he's going to end up spamming air units in this area, so I'm waiting until I can get my anti-air into position before I actually start committing my forces and putting them into harm's way here. He moves in against my infantry and takes my battlecopter off of the comm tower there and starts capping as well, but because he only has the one anti-air in the area, now I can just start spamming battlecopters and it'll be fine. So it's not really that good of a play for him right now. He moves in against my infantry, hiding in the woods here, and he starts capping here with the weakened infantry. And he's moving in with the artillery here as well on this side. I'm not sure if the offensive artillery over here is worth it. It's definitely... The artillery here for a defensive play is very good. If you wanted an offensive artillery, you could probably just land here and pop it into the woods here. And that would be very good for pushing in against the comm tower, but I'm not sure about how he's pushing it right here. Now I see the mech here, and I push in with against it with my tanks and my infantry, wiping out this guy as well, so that he doesn't really have the unit count in this area, and I start pushing with the anti-air as well. So that's going to be good against the infantry and any battle pockets that decides to bring in over here. Move in like so. Take out his infantry there. Take out his infantry there. Start capping there, actually. And then I've got my anti-air in position as well. So if he tries to interrupt this with his battlecopters, which is the only way he can interrupt it, actually, he's going to lose his battlecopters in retaliation. Moving up the battlecopter there, finish off his anti-air, and move in with a lander here so that he can boost these guys along next turn. And now I'm starting to spam battlecopters, mainly to push in this area and also in this area. There's like battlecopters, being on a 2 airport map like this, Hawk battlecopters are like super important to get into position. Hawk takes out my infantry there. I think it's pretty consistent. This is a pretty consistent roll. We'll see. Yeah, it's definitely consistent with the comm tower. If he didn't have the comm tower, it would be basically a guaranteed kill. Anyways, but with the comm tower, it's definitely guaranteed. Then he pushes in against my infantry as well, but he's falling back in this area because I have battlecopters in this area. He's going to need to wait for his anti-air to come and back in to support his units. So he falls back to join up with the anti-air instead of trying to push in, stupidly, which is very smart of him. Very good move. He goes for the battlecopter into recon, which battlecopters are actually not that good against recon. This is something that I didn't even really know about until sort of recently, but they only do like that much damage compared to tanks. So tanks are really what you want to use to deal with recons. But battlecopters aren't like awful against them either. And he's moving in with the tank as well here. I'm gonna take the comm tower now that he's fallen back. If he wanted to, he could have left his tank in position to strike whatever I have, move into cap here if he wanted to, but he didn't do that. And then I move in with my infantry over here as well, so I can see, take out his infantry on the city here. His anti-air is out of range, and because he fell back with his units here, I can sort of assume that he just built it like last turn or so. So it's basically guaranteed that this guy is safe, unless he had like a lander here and popped it there. But so I join cap here, take out one of his battlecopters at least. He's not going to be able to move in to punish me for using my anti-air tank yet either. And yeah, just moving in with my other units as well. And as you can see here, I have a 3k income advantage, which isn't like the biggest thing in the world, but like it's not insignificant. I move in like so with the artillery, mainly just so that he doesn't try some sneaky strat over here with his lander to get onto this beach. And yeah, as you can see here, I'm pretty significantly ahead in this unit count, so that's going to end up being really important here. He actually decides to attack into the tank here. Don't know why. And he's got the medium tank moving in here to try and punish my light units here, so that's good. That's a good move on his part. Sort of. because it means that I'm gonna have to fall back from this area over here. But he doesn't really have the funds or the units to be able to push in this area all too well yet. He dances out here with his battlecopter, so it's out of range of my anti-air, but not out of range of my battlecopter. So I'm perfectly fine here. And he doesn't even interrupt my cap here, so I'm not going to have to join a cap again. Also, because it doesn't have a recon in this area, he can't see anything in this area either, so that's good for me as well. He's using these mountains a little bit, but you sort of need a recon in this area in order to be able to see effectively, especially if you want to start pushing in against this. So he moves on to the city here as well. Finally get the comm tower here, and then basically neuter. Well, I neuter his battlecopter and finish off the half health infantry from the mountain. I believe that this is a really good. I'm not sure if this is a good roll or not. Oh, okay, this is a pretty good roll. In addition to this roll as well, because it's sort of lucky that I got the kill here. But even without the kill here, I basically needed his anti-air, so I'm not gonna have to worry about it at all. I move in for the cap here, which is fairly aggressive, but at the very least, I'm just sort of seeing what he has in the area. So I'm basically putting this guy out as bait. Then I'm moving in over here. Not doing that much damage to the recon, but like it's gonna be fine. Take out his infantry as well, which is important so that it can't move in against my properties here. And take out that guy as well. Move in like that onto the just to there. I'm not actually sure how I saw that. Huh. I'm assuming I moved in. Okay, I must have moved in with the infantry there. You'll see it after the end of this turn. And then I move in with my other units as well. But yeah, the anti-air is very good against even mechs. So this guy into you in forest is actually a guaranteed kill for a hawk with one comm tower. Not into the city, obviously, but into the forest is actually a guaranteed kill. So mechs aren't that useful against like Hawk or Vandal in this map. If you're Vandal yourself, it's like okay, but like you're still getting wiped out with just the basic anti-air. He almost kills here, but he actually doesn't kill, which is important because I can just move him back and heal, and he's not even going to be able to keep the air units coming out here. So that's fine. He moves in with his tank and infantry here, so now I know what's in the area. I don't see his anti-air, but like it doesn't matter. All I really have in the area is like infantry anyways, so basically I'm just making sure he doesn't push in against what I have here. He does that kind of crappy engagement against the infantry. If I were him, I would probably just hit in the forest here so I can keep the vision going for at least a little bit longer. And he takes the first strike. Oh, actually no, that's pretty smart because he's spotted my anti-air there. So that was good to get the first strike there. But it's not going to end up mattering too much. He has lessened the unit gap sort of significantly though, so that's good for him. I move in like that, and then I actually move in with the battlecopter as well against the artillery here. And it's out of range of his battlecopter, this airport as well, so he can't, and this one as well too. So he's not going to be able to punish me for that. He's going to be able to punish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This tank. So this tank's dead for sure because he's got the medium taking range if he wants to. But like, he's sort of leaving it exposed on the road if he goes for that. And I've got battlecopters in the area So it's a little bit of a gamble if he goes for that. I think I'll just tank here, obviously, in the infantry, and I'm making a very good push into this area. Here. As you can see, 2 battlecopters in the area. That's pretty scary for a medium tank to try and just randomly blitz into. Is 2 battlecopters like that? It's very scary. Take out the 1 health infantry there. And at this point, I'm just hoping that he pops his Black Storm and doesn't get much out of it, so that I can just heal off the damage from it. That's sort of a weird thing about Hawk versus Hawk matchups is you don't really necessarily want to use your superpower, unless it's like the best possible time for it, because I'm not sure how he saw that, but that's whatever. But basically, because your opponent can just heal it off, you don't really want to pop it unless you can get a good amount of damage done in addition to it. So you need to be able to finish off units in order to like take full advantage of it. He kicks me off of there as well, but like I'm not too worried about that. And then he moves in with his other units. And I'm not sure if it's his turn that I popped it or no, not his turn. So I go in like that, and I actually take out his medium tank there, and that's pretty huge. Like I didn't even need to pop my superpower to confirm that, so that was actually huge. I think it might have been a roll as well. Probably was a roll in order to guarantee that. So I was incredibly happy about that. Moving in here with the mech and the tank. He's got his rockets in range and the artillery as well. So he's going to be able to get a good counter push going. But obviously I don't see that quite yet. But it doesn't really matter too much because I have a bunch of units in this area, and I'm able to push in against this airport here. And also his HQ. We're right next to each other, so basically you're going to be able to, if you're able to get one of them, you're going to be able to get the other one, so you're generally going to want to move on to the HQ and try to cap that. You're able to go for the, you're able to lock down his airport. Of course, yeah. It is like 1 turn away from this base, so he can attack you from this base with his tanks, but that's about it that he can really do. Because if you have his airport here in the center block. These HQs are a little bit exposed, but because you have so many production areas in the production buildings in the area, it's not like the end of the world. Like you can easily reinforce here. It's not like it's Marn or anything. So he's obviously getting some good indirect pushes here, taking out the battlecopter there as well. Dealing some ship damage with his infantry against the battlecopters. Like that's pretty effective. Very good turn from him, honestly. And at this point, I fall back in this area, just making sure that he doesn't really have any way to push in here. Moving in here, going for the airport here, actually. I'm not exactly convinced I'm going to be able to take it, but it's not going to matter too much. Take out his lander here, almost. Actually, yes, with the tank I finish it off. Then I go for the infantry as well, and then I start capping this comm tower. And I'm definitely baiting out his superpower at this point, because he has to do something about this attack here. And he can't really do that without healing up his artillery. Of course, I don't think it's going to end up mattering at this point. But look, at this point, I'm super ahead in unit count. Pretty far ahead in, yeah, very far ahead in income and just value as well. So it's definitely coming to the end of this match. He gets a nice bird strike there, finishes off my battlecopter, kicks me off of his airport there, and then pushes in a little bit over here. He's actually just letting me take the comm tower. So I don't even need to worry about his superpower here. And he moves in with his lander on the right side as well. But I grab the comm tower here, and then I just push with my infantry and stuff here. Get the cap here, and he's got nothing to counter that. So that's good for me. I get the anti-air out here as well. Finishing off his artillery, and like I'm just basically overwhelming him at this point. In both the left and center I guess fronts? Yeah, fronts. On the left and center fronts. And at this point, he's going for a second medium tank here, but like it's not going to be able to save him. I get trapped by the anti-air here, but like I have enough tanks in the area that it's not going to be able to do anything with the anti-air at this point. Finish off his infantry, and like at this point, I'm just taking out as many of his units as I can and trying to win on unit count as best as I can here. Get the tank in the area, go for a blitz sort of in this area, and bam. Honestly, this turn would have been a very good turn to pop the superpower, because I would have been able to take out a lot of his units. I was sort of waiting for him to pop his first, and pop it he does. So he moves in like this with a bunch of his units. Takes out my anti-air there, takes out my tank, takes out my battlecopter. Honestly, I should have probably popped my super last turn, because yeah, this is a pretty brutal push fit he got with his superpower. But he doesn't have enough units to really seize upon it as much as he might want to. So I pop my superpower, heal up all the damage that he dealt last turn, actually. And then just push, basically. Finish off that, actually taking out his rockets, which is huge. Take out his battlecopter and his anti-air, and then just push against his medium tank. I didn't even really need more than one battlecopter push there at that point, because like 6 health medium tank is kind of neutered. Even with plus 10% firepower. But like I got both comm towers, so I'm going to be able to just push it entirely in this area. I basically secured this. I've secured both of his production buildings over here. I'm blocking them both. So it's only a matter of time before I seize these and then move on towards the center properties. And I actually go for the HQ cap as well. So he has to deal with one more thing while I'm consolidating my forces here and securing this area. Just look at the unit count difference, like ridiculous at this point. He's able to take me off of the HQ, but like you needed to use 3 of his more expensive units in order to do that. So like it doesn't matter. He gets a transport copter out actually, an APC, 2 APCs, and 8 resigns. So yeah. Just managed to overwhelm him through just sheer numbers, basically. Yeah, I think my opponents, basically on this map, you need to invest a lot of infantry into the center, and you can't really just send 1 at a time with your landers either. You need to make sure that you're sending in 2 at a time as much as possible. Like, the recon here did so much work as well, because I was able to see everything in this area, more or less. I was able to secure these forests with my infantry and then just dance around whatever infantry he sent up this way. So you definitely need to invest like a little bit of stuff in this area, preferably like a recon, maybe a tank or a battlecopter or 2, because you have your airports right there. And then anti-air, obviously, to deal with to secure the airports eventually as well. Battlecopters are also super valuable on this map, because you have 2 airports you're going to be able to push in very effectively. There's a very good artillery spot here that's vulnerable to battlecopters, obviously, because that's what artillery are, obviously. They're weak to battlecopters in mid. Battlecopters are also really good against these landers on these open seas, so you can use them to harass your opponent's transport and just cut them off and prevent them from reinforcing with like tanks or even infantry and stuff. So that's good. That's really valuable. As you can see here, I didn't even need to actually guarantee the capture in this area. All I needed to do was base block here and here, and then he just didn't have enough unit count to win here. Like, a lot of times, all you really need to do is like base block one spot, and then if he's not able to counter base block you, he's not going to be able to get enough units out, and he'll just lose. The medium tanks, I don't think were a very good decision in this area. Sure, they were good against most of my light vehicles, but I was able to just overwhelm them with battlecopters, and that's another thing about battlecopters, especially like Hawk battlecopters, is they're very, very good against medium tanks because of their extra firepower. So they're able to, like most COs are able to like soft counter medium tanks with battlecopters. Because Hawk has the extra firepower, he can sort of hard counter them as well. But yeah, I think my opponent did pretty well. It's just he definitely should have probably built more air units and dealt with that more effectively. And I think that his transport game might have been a little inefficient, but overall, I think it's just the center area that he didn't focus enough on. He definitely just let me take that for no other reason, and I think he focused a little bit too heavily on this comm tower as well. But yeah, that's it for tonight's episode. And tomorrow's match, I believe, well, we have this high funds match against Jake on the map Cylindrical Tubes. Maybe not, though. I'm not exactly sure yet. It can either be that or this Vandal mirror match on this small map, which is also no longer in Global League. But yeah, this is the tier 1 standard small map meta. It's basically just play Vandal and pick a god of the prey. So that will be next week's episode. I guess like, subscribe, and all that nonsense, and I will see you then.